Can you hear me now? Are we getting audio now? I hope so. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Well, my little mic is not working with me. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know what the heck that was all about, but at least right now we're just going to work off the mic from the actual phone. That took forever. And I'm going to have to figure out what was going on there. But hello, everybody. I'm sorry. I do see everybody in the chat. Let's see. I have Donna Lee is here. Happy Friday, everyone. Exactly. Cebu is here. We got Dee's in here. We got my possum friend who's currently in Florida. So Mars Possum Pirate Van Adventure. She is doing the van travels. I know she's in Florida right now. So definitely check her out. I know you're active on Instagram. Have you been posting on your YouTube as well? Mars, talking to you just so you know. I see Crystal, you're in here. What's up, Crystal? You know, every time I see your name, I just get a little chuckle. You know, we have the same name. I do, of course, spell mine with a C. Who else we got? And then Cebu, yeah, closing out. That's what I had to do. Thanks for that suggestion. But I want to welcome everybody that's here. I appreciate your patience. Today is once again just a chill day. One thing I was considering, no, but I'm going to start. Definitely start. You don't try to be perfect. Okay, so if right now you haven't started because you want to make the perfect video, screw that. Just make the video. Make a video where people are just excited to learn where people are learning your story. And if you're worried about the editing, that'll come. I'm still working on editing as well. That was one thing I was actually going to look into messing around with today. But now that my speakers all messed up, I don't know if it's going to work out. Let's see. Do not obey. Stay woke. I see you in here. What's up? Nice seeing you in here. But today I was going to mess Hello? There we go. Okay, so I just had to transfer the volume over. Sorry about that. So what I was saying while y'all was just looking at my lips going was today I was actually thinking about hopping into CapCut, which is where I actually edit my videos. So it's kind of funny that Mars was in here, that we can have this leeway. So I just want to show people, like, if you enjoy my videos, I want to show you that you can also start telling your story. And there's a lot of different ways for you to tell your story, but I know one of the things that hold people back is equipment, and then also having the perfect software, having the perfect everything. Don't do that. Don't worry about it being perfect. Just worry about telling your story and connecting with people. That's the most important part. Right now, the camera that I'm working off is an iPhone 11, like what I'm using right now. When I'm making a lot of my videos at this point, probably like 95% of them, I am using a camera that I did pay for. It is expensive, and that is the DJI Pocket 3. Now, me getting the Pocket 3 was just something that I wanted to do for myself because I wanted to really motivate myself to continue producing content. But the first videos that I produced and the videos that allowed me to get to the point where I was monetized was on this iPhone 11. It does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be the latest and greatest. Tell your story. Somebody's going to connect. Now, once the ball gets rolling and you've gotten yourself in a rhythm where you're producing content, yes, then certainly look into maybe upgrading. But it's not a must to start. Right now I have a video that I will be working on soon. I don't know if everything's gonna play out the way I want to. Now that I had that issue earlier, let me see if I can get this, if it'll do any audio. So me and the gang, after me and the gang went to the state fair, we went to Weeki Springs. So that video is what I have in store for you all coming up. And I haven't started. This is the program right here. The only thing I've done so far was open CapCut. Okay, so this is CapCut. And what I was wanted to say, I did pay for the pro version, but the free version is what I was rocking with for like the first 3 years of me being a content creator. And it started off with me doing TikToks, and I was on the mobile app that's available through CapCut. CapCut also offers, I want to say, a web version and a desktop version. When I'm on my laptop, which I am now, I use the desktop version. It just gives me it's just a little easier to work with, because otherwise when it comes to like trimming videos, it's like sometimes your finger wants to work with you, sometimes it doesn't. So being on my laptop definitely helps the process a bit. But as far as editing, I'm not going to say it's a simple process, but it's easy to learn. And I really think that CapCut's a great product for new content creators and people who are looking to get into this world of editing. Another thing that you can look into if you have Apple products, iMovie. iMovie is also a good editing option. Now for my Android friends, I don't really know any Android editing options, but I would, once again, just recommend CapCut. And today I just kind of want to go through the process of what it's like for me. Now, when I first started creating videos, it took me a really long time, and it still takes me a long time. That's one reason why sometimes, you know, you may see like 2 weeks goes by before I publish a video. I may have footage, but what's holding me back is the editing process. Now I'm trying to change how I actually approach editing. Before, I was trying to be perfect, which made absolutely no sense, because the whole point of my channel is so people know, like, you don't have to be perfect in order to change your life. You don't have to have everything set in stone in order to go a new direction and to start over. So for me to then try to produce videos that were perfect made absolutely no sense. I was literally contradicting myself, and it was actually causing me a lot of issues when it came to production. Now what I try to do is I definitely try to give you a great product. I try to make sure there's some type of story or something where there's a point A and a point B. I try. Sometimes I miss it, but I am learning. It's a learning experience. But what I'm starting to do now to speed up the process is, if I mess up in the take, if I'm trying to get something out of my mouth and I mess up, I don't always say I'm gonna nix this footage, I'm not gonna use it, or I don't always sit there and try to get every small hiccup out of the cut. I was doing that before, and it would take me forever. Another thing that I stopped doing, and I kind of feel bad about it, but at the same time, it's like, unfortunately, this is just one thing that I have to sacrifice, is actually producing my own file format for captions. That was the main reason that I actually paid for CapCut, is because I wanted to be able to create closed caption files that you can load onto YouTube. If you're ever on YouTube, one thing that you'll notice, and in fact we can even, let me see if I can show you what it looks like. So there'll be some times where people will have captions on the video if you turn it on, and it's not perfect. That's usually like the AI version. That's usually what is available through YouTube itself. But then there's also another option where you can literally go through your videos and make it exactly how you want it, the captions, and then load a file. And I'm trying to get to my channel so I can show you. Like recently, and for my friends who prefer captions, I'm so sorry. Like, I feel so bad that I can't do it like I used to, but captions would literally add an extra like 2 days to the editing process. So right now I'm trying to rely on what's available, such as AI, and then know that I will get to the point where I can always go back and then load those caption files. So some of the videos that have the captions on it, let me see. I feel like the way it is right now, usually you can see Where is it at? YouTube Studio. Let me see if they'll show me that way. Content. No, not so much. Usually like with the home screen. Okay, here we go. So for example, so these videos here where you see the caption is, that is where I actually created the captions myself, and there's a file that you can produce through good old-fashioned CapCut and then load it into YouTube, and it's separate. Whereas the most recent ones, if you notice, you don't see those caption files. I haven't been doing that. So as of now, I'm trying to rely on what's available online or through YouTube, where they do the captions themselves. I already know it's not perfect, but this is unfortunately what I have to do in order to get videos out more frequently. And right now my goal is to get more content out more frequently, grow the channel, and then one day I'll get to the point where, hey Shelly, I see you, where I can hire somebody to do this. So that is one reason. So if anybody's like, well, why are you suggesting I don't purchase CapCut? That's the reason why. If I only purchased it so I could have my own separate files specifically for captions, you don't necessarily have to do that, because captions are available through good old-fashioned YouTube. It's just not perfect, but it's better than nothing. So now we're back into what CapCut looks like. So from here, when I'm looking to edit a video, and I'm trying to get back to the chat so I can see what's going on, so just in case anybody has questions. Okay. Yeah, alright, there we go. Let's download that now. I'm just checking to see and make sure I didn't miss it. Have you heard of Canva? I use it myself. I do. Actually, Canva is something that I'm using now, and I do use Canva. I don't use it for editing videos, but I use it for design. So like the design on this hoodie, that was Canva. Right now, the little green part that you see, or like I'm gonna go back to my other videos, not my other videos, but my other screens. Okay, so those screens I actually created, or I didn't create, but I customized in Canva. So I use Canva more or less for images, not so much for videos. For videos, my go-to is CapCut, and I'm happy we still have it, because if they were to take this away, then I would resort to iMovie, since I do have Apple products. But I haven't used iMovie since like 2020, so I would have to learn that system. And when I was using iMovie, it was the mobile. Since I'm doing long form videos, I would prefer to do some type of desktop option, and I haven't really messed with it, but I don't mind learning something new, because I know both of them are really good for beginners. So far, now that I'm in CapCut, just so you can see the process, all I've done so far with CapCut is taking the folder. This folder right here, this yellow folder right here, this is, hey Van Miles, right now I'm just trying to encourage people to start off with their videos. I know a lot of people are interested, and I'm just showing you how I edit, so you can see that it's not something that is super scary, and you can kind of keep it simple. The most important part is being genuine and telling the story. That's what people really are going to relate to. They don't expect for it to be perfect, and if they are expecting for perfection, it's really, I don't even know if you want those people to be following you, because at some point they're going to be disappointed. Like if you're trying to get people who are like, I need perfection, I personally don't want those viewers, because I'm not a perfect person. So process. So I've downloaded or I've imported my file. This is a file, and the way you import, like I go in here, and then these are all my files that are currently on my desktop. I selected this one here, WikiWaki Springs, and then I would click import. I've already done that, and then this folder here has all the videos that I filmed when I was out. In addition to the videos, you also see some sound files. That just depends on how I'm actually recording. And I used to actually rename all of my files, and it was a simple process where it kind of helped me to get things in order. the way that the files would be, the names would be created would be based off like the time that the file was made. But instead I can just do this little drop down here, and right now it's based off time imported. I changed to time created and then earliest to latest, so that way as I'm going through the story, that way as I'm going through the story, I know it's already in order. Now by chance, did you hear the volume from that when it was playing? Did anybody hear that? Because if not, let me see. Let me try again. Okay, so I don't think the audio is coming through to you, and I'm trying to get it. What about here? Oh, there we go. There we go. We can hear it. I think it's super loud though. Let me turn it down. Okay, so right now, you should have heard me as well as the computer. Did everybody hear the computer as well? All right, I hear it. Fantastic. I also see D's in here. D Washington, welcome to the chat. Van Miles, you told me something, you're late. You're okay. You're not that late. So now, a lot of thing that also helps, or that I'm realizing that helps with the editing process, is just knowing that a lot of this stuff may not have the perfect audio. However, I can always come back once I've set everything up in order to do a voiceover. Voiceover has definitely been saving me, especially when I hang out with CK, because CK walks around with a portable speaker. Not all the time, but a lot of times when we're hanging out, like when we were at the beach and when we were on our little walk, she walks around with a portable speaker. The problem with that is, if I'm uploading it to YouTube, that's music that could possibly give me a copyright strike. So what has been helping is just knowing that the audio is going to be completely removed. I'm going to replace it with music which I get from Epidemic Sound, and I can talk to you about that. That is a paid subscription though. It's not free, but you know, if you want to have some audio in the background, that's a great option. I want to say YouTube offers something as well. I don't even mess with the YouTube option because I know not everything's free, and I've just gotten so used to working through CapCut with Epidemic Sound that I just stick with it. But I'll start off with, let's get back to like getting a video. So right now, this is, let's say, my first scene. I need to bring it down here. This area at the bottom is essentially what the everything's going to look like. So I'm going to show you a project that's already been completed, so you can see how it looks. So we just did the state fair. Okay, it's saying everything's missing because I got a lot of stuff that I usually have on my external memory drive that I haven't plugged up. That's mainly the music and stuff. But this is at the very bottom. This is what it looks like when we're all said and done. These are all the different scenes, and this is a video that I just did. This is how it looks when you're all done. And this setup is very similar regardless of what program you're using to edit. Every program that I've seen has this layout at the very bottom. And you may notice some of this stuff is layered. For those of you who may have seen this video where you see it's layered, that means I had a scene, so this eagle scene where I'm basically just talking to the camera, and then over top of that I put some images of CK as I was talking about CK. The way this works is how it's layered is how you'll actually see it. So anything that's at the very top is essentially given priority. Everything under that you won't see, but you may hear if it has audio. So this is a final project, and then we'll go back to what I'm trying to start. And now the bad thing is I don't do scripts. I don't have a storyline. I just kind of wing it once I get going. So right now I know I'm probably gonna have this scene here with Wiki Waki Springs, or I know I also have a clip of me talking. So this is just a preview. This is a preview script. This is us in the parking lot. So sometimes I just film some stuff that will later be used as B-roll. And I want to say this is going to be probably, now y'all going to get to see how life is behind the scenes. This is me probably trying to give the little intro. A lot of times I give an intro just saying like, hey, this is Stiz Chronicles. I document my life, and you know, just a little something, maybe like 10-15 seconds. Then I do my little intro where you always kind of see me kind of working on the RV, that little intro. But what y'all don't realize is how often I just be messing up because I can't get my words out. So let's see how good or bad this particular one is.
Welcome to the Stizzy Chronicles. I'm Stizzy, and on this channel, I chronicle my life as an RV newbie. This week, me and my friends have been exploring Florida, and we're finally at the final stages of our Florida exploration tour. I finally got it. Anyway, so today we're going to be checking out Weeki-Wachee Springs State Park. I think that's how you say it. All I know is they got mermaids. So come on, we finna hang out with mermaids today.
So there you go. That's how my little intros start. And notice how I couldn't get my words out. Now, previously, I would edit that out. And it would take me a long time to edit that out. Now, y'all probably going to get it just like that. Where it's just like, I think that's how you say it. Or, you know, I'm screwed up. But we got it out. And people kind of relate to that. Plus, more importantly, it makes the editing process so much easier for me. And the funny thing is, I'm happy I even saying this. I think that's how you say it, because I was saying it wrong for the longest, and I still keep saying it wrong because I want to give a spin on it, which it doesn't require. It's like Weeki-Wachee, and I keep saying Weeki-Wachee. Whatever I just said, it's wrong. And later on, I actually asked somebody, because I kept screwing it up, how I say it properly. Let's see. So, you know, these are from the things like, it's not perfect, but it's me. Like, it's the true experience. Let's see what the next one is. I got another one where I'm just staring at the camera looking stupid.
Welcome to the Stizzy Chronicles. I'm Stizzy, and on this channel, I chronicle my life as an RV newbie. This week, I've been exploring Florida with a group of my friends, and this is the final chapter of that exploration tour. We are going to be hanging out at Weeki-Wachee State Park. Today, we're going to be hanging out at
just to give you some insight, because my memory's terrible, I'm looking at the sign. So when you see me turn to the side, I was looking to the side to see what the heck the actual thing is called. I don't know if you all saw the video where I went to something salt. The first place I went to where I was freaking out about gators. It's like Bruce Werner Spring Salt. I still cannot say it to this day. I would stand near the sign, look at the sign, attempt to say it, maybe get it wrong, then keep recording the whole time, try it again. That's exactly what I just did there. I was looking at the sign to see what the heck this place was actually called, because I keep screwing it up. But this is what the behind the scene looks like.
All I know is they have mermaids, so come on. We got some mermaids to see.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, similar to the last one you just saw, I think the reason that I re-recorded it because I was worried about audio. I felt like there was a lot going on with traffic. So I think that's the reason why I did it again. So in here, I want to say this is like the process of us. So this is the process. This is y'all getting some behind the scenes. So when we went to Weeki-Wachee, God damn it. Okay, when we went to Weeki, that's what we're gonna call it. When we went to Weeki, I knew that, and I'm the reason that we went there, by the way. I'm the reason that we went there because all I wanted to do was see these manatees and the mermaids. I knew that the water park was closed, but I didn't realize that with this particular state park, it's considered more action as opposed to your typical state park. So the gang has already spoken to the customer service rep, who's about to tell them that Stiz should not be allowed to organize because everything was closed. That's what we wound up finding out. That's why the parking lot was empty. We were still able to get into the attraction, but we weren't able to do anything. outside of see the mermaid show, like I'm thinking, you see we in swimwear, I'm thinking like, okay, we can just, even though the water park's closed, we still have another way to get to the springs. That is not how it works, y'all. I found out the hard way. So we all, that they giving me that look like, you some of them bastard, we done put on our swim stuff for nothing. But that's what we wound up finding out. So that's going to be one of the things that you get to see when we when I finally get this video up. And see, Mars, I need to see the mermaids. I missed them in December. So you've been out here before. Let's see, Mars, I swam with the manatees and was fine, but I have a spot at one of the springs at the water management places. So now I'm a little wary because alligators. I wanted to do one of the water management places. I'm curious about how that works out, because it's something just by the sounds that I wouldn't even thought to look for camping. However, it also kept popping up when I was looking at camping options for the state parks. So I'm curious to know your experience. So definitely, Mars, we got to get some videos out so you can tell more of your story. And I know gators are scary. Lindsay likes to send me videos all the time, even before she came out to Tampa. Once I made the move and she was still in the process of getting her butt down here, she would keep sending me videos of what Florida was like. And it was just recently she sent me a video of those big old birds. I don't know what they're called, but the big old birds, cranes I think they are, they're popular out here, and it's like 2 or 3 cranes following a baby gator as they're just crossing the street. Of course, everybody, all the animals are holding up traffic. The baby gator's just walking over. The cranes are following it. And then I guess they had like this moment where it was like, are the cranes going to whoop the gator's butt or not? And then the gator also feared that the cranes were going to whoop his butt. So halfway through the I guess crossing of the street, the alligator changes his mind, goes in the other direction, and the bird starts to follow. And then you see this baby alligator just running. But you know, I have been hearing, Mars, if this makes you feel any better about everything, that they say the gators don't mess with you. Every Floridian will be like, the gators aren't that bad. They don't mess with you. They just kind of sit on the side. They hang out. They talk about gators the way me, coming from Philly, talked about squirrels. It's just like, yeah, there's a lot of squirrels around here, but they usually don't mess with you unless, I mean, sometimes a squirrel may be a little brave, may come into your space, but overall, these squirrels don't really mess with you. That's how Floridians talk about alligators. So I think you're gonna be fine, Mars. Definitely go out, and hopefully these Floridians didn't set you or me up. You did a tour for, so Mars is saying, we'll let you know I have a spot for a week this coming Monday at one of the springs. I'm excited for you. I did a tour for the swim with the manatees, and it was lit. They ate my hair and were so cool. Now, here's the thing. I totally want to swim with the manatees, but the thing about swimming with the manatees that settled and then grossed me out is I want to say the manatees are here because they're mating. Isn't that why they're here right now? So did you walk in on manatee porn? I just don't want to be swimming with manatee semen, is essentially what I'm trying to get to. And I feel like that is going to happen if I swim with the manatees. Let's see. I need to see these things in real life, as long as it doesn't move towards me or try to eat my dog. Oh, see, no, we had meth squirrels in Chicago. What if they are meth gators? Yo, speaking of meth gators, has anybody seen if I like sci-fi, and I also like low budget sci-fi, and there's definitely a meth gator movie out, which was probably inspired by Cocaine Bear. If you have not seen Cocaine Bear, I definitely will recommend it. It is a ridiculous movie. It's a ridiculous movie, but it's actually a ridiculous movie with a good budget. Meth Gator, not a good budget. It's one of those movies where you watch knowing that you're gonna judge, and it's best to watch with a judgmental friend. Maybe if y'all just drinking wine, or not even drinking wine, just chilling, just relaxing, and you just crack jokes the whole time. So, I think you may want to consider writing a low-budget sci-fi movie called Meth Squirrels, because I don't think I've seen that. Some of the squirrels are a little crazy. That's why I was like, overall, hopefully these gators are fine. I haven't seen any since I've been out here. Well, wait, pause, let me think. Hold on. I haven't seen any gators just milling around since I've been in Florida. Put it that way. I don't even know. I've seen. Okay, I did see a gator. I did, but all the gators that I saw, they were in captivity, so it doesn't really count. I haven't seen any wild gators. I did see a snake. I don't like that, but luckily the snake was a good distance away, and I kept it that way. The thing that I see the most out here are lizards. There's lizards everywhere. I see these little baby lizards all over the place, especially on the property I'm at. They're everywhere. Like when I open my window where my panel is, my electric panel, there's a few lizards that like to hang out there. I think some of the lizards took over the front of the RV because I see these lizards like run into the grill of the RV, and now every now and then my CD player that tries to do something. I know a lot of times that could be a sign that there's mice messing with the wires, or there's some type of issues with the wire. So I understand that may also be an issue. But I feel like the lizards are the reason that I'm having these issues in the first place, because I don't recall this happening when I was in Pennsylvania or this happening when I was in Pahrump. Once I got here, every so often I'll see my radio lights up and it's like loading CD, but there's no CD in there. When I try to play the radio, it doesn't play the radio, so it's just that one section of the radio is active. Doesn't play, I can't hear any music. It doesn't do the radio. I can't do anything with the volume, but it just says loading CD and you hear it. I don't know what it's about. But you can do, Marta saying you can do lizards, but not snakes. I don't even know if I can do lizards because they still look like baby dinosaurs to me. So, everything gives me the heebie-jeebies. Let's see, Van Miles, I'm from the Midwest, and we see on TV and internet that they put fear in me. When I went to Gator Lake, I was so scared. I'm just so confused when it comes to these dang on gators, because some people are like, yeah, when I was a little kid, I remember someone saying this, when I was a little kid, we used to go swimming, and if there were gators in the water, we would come out for a little bit, and then once they left, we would get back in the water again. I would go home. I would have left and never went back to that place ever again. But one person in the comments, and I wish I could remember who it was like, yeah, you would just come out, maybe wait it out a little bit, eat some burgers in the meantime, barbecue, and then get back in. I don't know. I do feel like videos and the internet make it far worse than it truly is. The only reason I say that is because people still live in Australia. The wildlife of Australia totally freaks me out. I want to go to Australia, but then I also see the videos of the huge spiders and the crazy kangaroos and a few other things. But yet people in Australia are like, no, it's not that bad here, mate. Florida's the crazy place. How do you think Florida's crazy when you got spiders that are the size of king crabs? I don't understand. So I don't know. I feel like it's always best to try to explore, get a taste for it yourself, because the internet will have you not knowing what reality is. I think it's worth checking it out. I think give it a go. Just be prepared with maybe a walking stick with sharp objects at the end of that walking stick, but go into it knowing with the thought process I'm gonna walk in here, and if I see any alligators, they're gonna look at me, I'm gonna look at them, and then we're both gonna go about our business and think nothing about it. Go with that energy, and I think you should be okay. But then again, if you lose a limb, I cannot be held responsible. I was just suggesting this. Let's see. But anyway, so I will be getting distracted the whole time, but I do want to show at least some of the editing process so people can just get an idea of what this program is like. So let's say, I'm going to delete this scene. Okay, now let's go with this one here, where it took me forever to get it out, but I finally got it out. So let's just imagine we put that in here.
Welcome to the Stizzy Chronicles. I'm Stizzy, and on this channel, I chronicle my life as an RV news. This week, me and my friends have been exploring Florida, and we're finally at the final stages of our Florida exploration.
go. So let's say we're gonna keep that, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut off what I don't want. Then what I like to do, since I do my little intro, and then I kind of explain what we're gonna be talking about, and you know, I'm just clicking into stuff. Hopefully everything is safe in this folder. And then I have my little intro. I gotta bring that in. Should have brought it in somewhere else. So this is my intro that I always put in there. So we got the little thing that I said. Then we'll go into the intro, okay? And then then we'll go into, like, from here I may add some scenes. This part right here. So this is like Lindsay and CK walking. Excuse me. Bring this up a little bit. Now it may not look too clear for you all because I do have it so the quality is diminished a little bit. You can have it so it's like full quality original video resolution, but then you can also make it so the playback, which is what we're watching right now, isn't as clear, but it helps with the loading of the video. Sometimes this will get all jabbled, and like, let's say the audio won't match your lips, or it seems like your computer's having some issues. So I do bring down the quality, knowing that when I actually export it, everything will be fine. And Van Miles, while you're here, but this is one reason why I actually want to mess around with this. Are you still with us? I want to see if we can try to figure out what you were experiencing with your video. So let's say this is a whole video, and then we go to export. Van Miles, you still with me? I'm curious to know what's happening with you when you get to this stage. Are you using the desktop version? Okay, you are still here. So when you try to export your video, do you at least get this far? Does it at least allow you to get to this step? Gotta remember to look at the camera in the lens. I'm looking at myself. Looks like y'all know. Sometimes I be a little bang. You're on your MacBook, fantastic. So you're here. Does yours look like this at this point? No? Oh, yours doesn't look like this when you go to export? Okay, so that's interesting right there. You're on your MacBook, and does this part at least look similar, the workflow? I know some of the stuff here, let me, so you can see it even with the chat. Because what I like, if we can't figure it out by me walking through it on my laptop. Okay, so this still looks the same. Then you go to export, and it doesn't allow this window to pop up, or what happens once you push export? Let's just get that. Okay, perfect. Yes. So I was talking to Van Miles on Insta. She's having some issues with a video that she worked very hard on, and now when it's time to actually export it, exporting essentially is once you finish working on the edit, you export it, then it creates a file, and then you can go to YouTube, and that file is what you upload onto your channel. But for some reason, it's not allowing her to do that. Okay, now it's saying I'm using Pro. Are you using the Pro version, or is it saying that there are certain elements? I'm wondering if there's some features in there that are Pro, and that's why it's being mean to you. Alright, let me try to throw in some Pro things. So if I'm in this system, now the way they have it set up is anything with this purple diamond, that's considered a Pro feature. Since I have Pro, it won't be a problem for me. But for anybody else, so these are just transitions. So I'll show you what it looks like. Transition, what I just put in there. So that was the transition. Okay, so that's a Pro transition. Pull into, that's considered. You can also change how long it takes for that transition to come in. I'm gonna try to throw some other random, okay, stickers. I think, oh, okay, boom, that's also, all right, so those things that I just did are pro features, and then at the very bottom, right here, it lets me know all the things that I use, this little purple pro benefits. So Band Miles, if you're seeing that, see what those things are. Oh, okay, fantastic. I see what I have to delete. Boom. All right, okay. I hope that works. I hope that actually takes care of everything. Now, whatever you use, you probably can find. So if you have some transitions, you could probably, I'm sure there's some free ones. There's some free ones that you probably can replace it with. My favorite, I don't know if anybody has picked up, my favorite is Mix. Mix is the one that I use pretty much all the time. I try to mess around with some of these transitions to give you all something different, but then I'll watch it and be like, now, I'm gonna just stick with my usual. Mix is the one I go to all the time, and that's a free one. Mix just kind of like overlaps the two images. So that's what that was. Let's see if I can do it real slow, and then you might be able to see it better. It'll take 2 whole seconds. There you go. So that's my go-to. That's my go-to transition. I love that one. Mix, and then recently I've been trying to do some of these wipe transitions, and the reason I started doing the wipe transitions is I was actually watching, what is it, Star Wars The Alkalite, I think that's what it's called, The Alkalite, and they have a lot of these transitions in the series where they do those type of transitions. So that was wipe left, and there's like wipe down. Sometimes I play around with those. Every now and then I try to get a little different to just kind of spice it up a bit, but mainly I stick with the same thing over and over again. However, but this is the process, you know. It does take some time to kind of mess around with things, but there's so many videos on YouTube that if you are looking to jump into this and you've never done any editing before in your life, you can get comfortable. You'll find some videos where you can get a video out, which is the most important part, getting the video out. Because what's probably holding you back is the you probably created a scenario in your head that may not actually be reality, where you're like, oh my god, this editing is going to take 47 days. It may not take 47 days, but you've created that, and now you think that's the reality. That's not the case. So actually getting your hands into it and actually working with it will let you will help shape that initial thought that's more exaggerated and give you a more accurate perception of how things are going to go. Let's see. Now, does anybody have questions about editing? Like, for those of you who may want to start a channel and you feel overwhelmed or uncertain, are there any questions? All right, I'm happy that worked for you, Van Miles. I figured that's what it was. I figured that would have had to have been. And if you deleted anything that you feel like changes the way the video or the flow of the video, there may be something that we can work together to figure out what it can replace. I think overall you should be okay with the free features. Let's see, is anybody else left with us? Is it just you and I? Can never tell. I can't tell. Okay, thank you, because I cannot tell. Thank you, Van Miles. So 8 people are still in here. So I just see, like, you and I have been talking about editing, but I'm just curious. Is anybody else in here that's curious about editing? I just want to show you what I do, or at least a little bit of what I do, in hopes that it just gives you a little bit of comfort enough where you will start doing this. Everybody has a story to tell, and everybody has an audience for them. If you're thinking about doing content, chances are somebody needs for you to do content so they feel unalone. And one of the things that you just have to do is put it out there. I just want to try to get y'all comfortable with putting it out there, putting yourselves out there as well. Any questions? Any questions? Because if there's no questions about editing, I'll go ahead and shut down the CapCut, and we can just continue to chat, see if you have any questions for me. Alright, I'm gonna take that as we can go ahead and cut this. I know I gotta come. I'm gonna have to come back to this. This is the next video, but this is the next video that I need to work on. And then tomorrow Saturday, yes. So tomorrow Saturday, we would feed the fur baby. What do you feed a possum, by the way? What do possums eat? Is it mainly just like salads? You just get like a salad kit from Costco and call it a day, or is it a little more involved? Well, while I wait for that, back to, I'm just curious to know what Mars feeds her possum. So, tomorrow, Saturday, is when I will be going to the Strawberry Festival. I'm still waiting for Lindsay, though. She was supposed to hit me back on the actual time, but that'll be... I'll be bringing my little equipment so I can go ahead and record there. I'm curious because in my head, I'm having a hard time really picturing what this is going to be because it's just strawberries. There's a whole festival for strawberries. It's so weird to me. Lindsay's already excited because she's like, I'm getting some jalapeno strawberry jelly. What? What? This is going to be such a learning experience. I think you made it tonight. Okay. Let's see. All right, DJ Loves made it tonight. How you doing? Right now we're just kind of doing a little bit of nothing, to be honest. I kind of was showing them behind the scenes of what my editing process is like. I was gonna go through editing a video, but we'll be here all day, all night. It usually takes me forever. And now Mars is telling me what she feeds her possum. So Mars is traveling in a van. She's currently in the Florida area. And grapes. Okay, so the possum loves grapes, bananas, calcium stuff, proteins, fruit, vegetables, salad. So basically what I need to be feeding my body. Me and the possum could literally have the same meal. Let me go ahead and shut this window. And take this off too. Don't need this anymore. That's good, the jelly. So yeah, Lisa, well, I'll finally get that figured out tomorrow. So tomorrow I want to do, so I got that video that I need to, the Wiki Waki is a video that's already filmed and I need to edit it. I want to film when I go to the Strawberry Festival. I think that's going to be cool. And then I feel bad for the fur baby. So I have, so Crystal loves food festivals. You don't care what it is. You just go and feed me. I don't think I've been to enough food festivals. Maybe that's the problem. So I've been to, in Vegas they have this event, and I think it's also in New York, called San Gennaro. Now, when I went to the fair, and I said, like, I've been to a fair before, that's what I was talking about. However, I don't think it's technically a fair. I think it's a food festival. So I don't know if I have actually been to the fair. The Florida State Fair might have been my first actual fair. But, so... at least with San Gennaro, it's like more than one type of food. The thought of just strawberries is so messing me up. I don't know what to expect. That's why I really can't wait to go there, just so I can get this big question mark in my head finally filled. I'm wondering, like, how much money do I need to bring out? Am I gonna be going crazy? I hope I don't go crazy. No, I can't imagine there being that many things that's made out of strawberries that I want to buy, but I am curious. Another thing, so you like food festivals. What was another food festival that I have gone to? I haven't gone to it, but I hear about it. Some type of vegan food festival. I of course never made it. Then it's the Taste of Chicago. Once again, very popular, but I wouldn't even know what to expect if I went there. I don't spend money on food. That's the problem. I am not a foodie at all. Lindsay says I have an interesting palate. And I think that's just a nice way for her to say that I eat weird stuff. When I eat food, like I barely even season it. I'm a very lazy cook. That's the problem. I'm a lazy cook, and I think that's why I have an interesting palate. And because I'm not a foodie, I haven't really done food festivals. I think the idea of paying for a food festival makes me mad. If I went and I knew everything was going to be free, that's fine. But it's usually you have to pay admission, and then you got to pay for the food. I'm like, where's the free stuff? You going to these food festivals? Are they feeding you for free, Crystal? Because that's the food festivals I need to be going to. But I'm gonna just go to the Strawberry Festival tomorrow is what we are. I definitely didn't know. And then another thing that I need to do that's on my to-do list while we're here is I gotta take the dogs to a dog beach. When we went on our little trip around Florida, Lindsay brought her dogs to the dog beach a few times. But because we were in Lindsay's car, I was like, I don't really have a way to get my fur babies there. And I didn't want to possibly cause any issues with us having a gajillion people in the car, 3, and then 4 dogs. My fur babies haven't gone to any of the beaches here in Florida. B Rabbit has gone to a dog beach when he was much younger. And we were in San Francisco. No, we were in San Diego. My apologies. We were in San Diego. That was the first time I had went to San Diego, and I was disappointed. In all honesty, I was so disappointed because, one, it was cold. I remember going there, and I went in the summertime, and the first thing that I wanted to do when I got there was get a jacket because I was like, I don't feel like I'm not dressed enough. And I remember going to Ross and being like, where are the hoodies? Where are the jackets? I could not find anything there, and I thought that was so strange. When we went to the beach, still it was cold to me and the water was cold, so me and B Rabbit kind of just hung out where the water and the sand touch, but not in the water. I'm hoping that it'll be a little different if we go, and I'm curious to see how Walker responds. If they'll be like the dogs that are like trotting in the water. Like, I want one of the dogs that goes like trotting in the water, but I don't think I have trotting in the water dogs. Just like I'm learning that I don't really have camping dogs or outside dogs. They just are lay under mommy dogs and hang out in the bedroom dogs, which is of course my fault because that's what I like to do, so that's what they like to do. But I am so excited to get them to a dog beach here and see how they react, especially Walker because she hasn't been to one. B Rabbit, I kind of have an idea how he's gonna act. Walker, I have no clue. Let's see. Alright, so can I give my top 3 pros and cons to living in an RV? So yes, let me go ahead and hit up the chat here for a little bit. So, pros. For me, right now I just had to pause myself because I had to think like, okay, is this a pro for living in RV? Is this specifically RV, or is it just because you don't spend a lot of money? I would say, okay, I got it. Pros. 1, I can really take the fur babies pretty much anywhere and they'll still be comfortable. So when I travel with the fur babies, I used to do with B Rabbit more so than with Walker, because when it was just me and B, we did a little more traveling than once I started accumulating more fur babies. But I would always want my fur babies to come with me, but then I would get into like an Airbnb or a hotel, and then they wouldn't be comfortable because it's like, yes, they're with me, however, they're in an unfamiliar environment. Now, that is not an issue. The RV is their home, and I can take it anywhere. They can come with me anywhere. The outside is different, but this particular space, this 30-foot, I don't know how many square foot it is. It's the same, so they're comfortable everywhere. That's definitely a pro for me, being able to bring my fur babies any and everywhere. Another thing is having everything in this RV is a pro and probably a con as well. But it's a pro because wherever I am in the RV, whatever I own, I know is nearby. Some people are like, well, I have my RV, but then I have stuff in storage, or like I have a house and I have an RV. So the things that they have can be in any of those places. For me, it's literally everything is here. It's just kind of easy, pack and go. Everything's compact. I know where it is at all times. I like that. So being able to travel with the fur babies, having everything in this small space, and also a pro with living in the RV would be dang, I'm trying to think of the third one. Third pro. Overall, I would say living in an RV is the expenses. Just being in an RV, the expenses are lower as a whole. Now, you have to be careful, because just because you live in an RV doesn't mean that your expenses are going to be lower. In my case, in my situation, where the RV's paid for, it was a used RV. It's not the biggest of RVs. So, propane, electric, even rent, when I'm doing lot rent, generally is much cheaper than what life would be like if I was in a home or if I was in an apartment. So, being able to take the fur babies everywhere is one. Having everything in this space, everything I own in this space is two. And three, my expenses are lower. Cons would be, there are still things about the RV that I don't understand. So this is a motorhome. I really don't know much about the automotive part of things. So if something was to happen, I would want to fix it myself, but it may be something that's out of my skill set, and it may be something that I don't have the time, tools, or money to learn, and I may have to actually hire someone. For example, like when I need to change my brakes, I'm personally not at a place, my comfort level isn't at a place where I would feel comfortable doing my brakes on this just yet. So that's one thing, knowing that the automotive side, I have a lot to learn. Also, the regular maintenance of the RV. There's a lot of things that I should have already done that I haven't done, and I know I have to do it, but I don't want to. So I've been in this RV for more than a year. I should have already cleaned out my freshwater tank. I haven't done that. I should have cleaned it. I also should have sanitized it. Haven't done that. Another thing that I haven't done that I should have done, check the roof. That regular maintenance is extremely important, and I'm ignoring these things. I need to be focusing on those regular maintenance things, the things that they tell you to do like once a year. I haven't done any of those. Instead, there's like projects that I want to do, and I do the things that I want to do, but not the things that I have to do. So the regular maintenance is probably a con as well. And then the third con kind of works with one of my pros, the fact that everything is in this RV. So if something was to happen to this RV, I am SOL. Everything is gone. If this RV catches fire, everything's gone. If somebody steals this RV, all my stuff is gone. So that's probably a con as well as a pro. I love the fact that everything is all in one place, but if anything, the fact that everything isn't all in one place. So those are my pros and cons for the RV. Let's see. Next up, what did I miss? Hold on. Alright, so I just did our pros and cons. Van miles, you have to take them. So nice to see the dogs have fun. Exactly, as far as getting them to the dog beach, getting them out and about. Absolutely. Crystal, no, some stuff is included with the tickets. Everything you eat or drink after your free tickets is extra, usually worth the extra cost though. She's referring to our food festivals. As far as the fur baby, just introduce them slowly to the water. This is one problem with the fur babies, why they don't really like water, and this is my bad. The dogs that I have were the very first dogs that I ever owned. I grew up with cats, okay? As a kid, always had cats. So when I got the dogs, I really knew absolutely nothing about training dogs. And although I did go on YouTube and look at videos about training dogs, I did not have the patience to do any of the training. With dog training or training of any sort, there are two people who are being trained: the person that's training and the dog. Commitment, patience, all that stuff I didn't have. So I kind of just resorted to a lot of things that I did with my cats when it came to disciplining the dog. So spray bottles. Whenever the dogs would do something that they weren't supposed to do, I would just spray them the same way I would do my cats. The problem with that is what I didn't realize I was doing was essentially training them to see water as a form of discipline, something that happens when something went wrong. So now, when it's time for a bath, they're kind of like, this is punishment. Or if I go to the beach, their minds may go to, this is punishment. I didn't realize that I was creating that until it was kind of too late. Now, I don't do my spray bottles on them anymore. Try not to do the spray bottles on them anymore because the damage is already done. But I do think it is going to make things difficult when it comes to trying to turn them into water dogs. Wanting to go swimming, wanting to get in the lake, wanting to go to the beach. It may be hard for me because of the unfortunate way that I raised them, like they were cats. But we're gonna see. I got a little bit of hope for Waka. I think that maybe she'll come around, but I know Waka also is similar to me, where she doesn't really respond well to the cold. So if that water is chilly, she's not gonna like it. I know B Rabbit didn't like it because the water was chilly, but on top of that, it could be just because it was water. So if we could just get down to the Bahamas or somewhere where the water is just as warm as the air, I would also like to give them a second go, another try to see if we get a different response. But we won't know until we try it. And see, Van Miles, how do you like the Class C RV? I'm thinking of possibly getting Class C or a travel trailer. So I was actually considering both when everything first started. I actually had fallen in love with fifth wheels when I was just doing my trips to the RV dealership, and I would sit there and window shop. I had fell in love with fifth wheels. And with fifth wheels, what I like is that you essentially get like that second level. A lot of fifth wheels, the bedroom is where that big section is that goes right above the truck, and then the rest of the trailer is more or less your living space. I love that. I love the fact that it may have only been like 3 steps, but I love that it would be like a bedroom and then a few steps, and then you would have your living space. In my head, that was like a little loft. And travel trailers, I also really enjoyed their layout. I felt like as a whole, it just always seemed bigger than what was available once you jump to a motorhome. The reason why I wind up going with a motorhome is because I have never driven a truck a day in my life. In fact, most of my cars are small cars. My current car, Ford Fiesta, that is a little car. The car before, the biggest car that I had was a Impala, a Chevy Impala. That's the biggest size vehicle I had. So the idea of going to a truck that was going to be big enough in order to tow a fifth wheel or a travel trailer was intimidating. And the fact that I was essentially going to have to learn a lot about trucks and get a better understanding of, okay, my truck can tow this amount and this, that, and the third, it was overwhelming. When I was trying to do my little research and get a better understanding, it was just too much information was coming at me that just wasn't sticking in my head. And I think one reason that it wasn't sticking in my head is because a part of me was already pushing the idea away at the same time that I was trying to bring info in to absorb information. And then what really turned me off to the idea of a towable is when I started watching videos with people who they were on the highway and they were losing control of their travel trailer. I saw one too many videos of travel trailers essentially just wobbling behind a truck and then everything just flipping over. I saw one too many. I said, nope, can't do it. And I know that it comes down to weight distribution. As long as you're paying attention to how much you can tow and you're driving at speeds that are acceptable, and if you are taking into consideration the wind conditions, I know that all these variables come into play, but I didn't want to do it. Instead, I felt like having a motorhome made me feel safer when it came down to driving it. And the only drawback that I was getting from going the motorhome route was like, well, if you have a motorhome, then you're going to have to get a car for your regular transit. And now you have to deal with 2 engines. I was okay with that. I was okay with dealing with 2 engines. I was not okay with all the things that could go wrong with a towable vehicle. Another thing that didn't really sit well with me is, in addition to never have driven a truck before, I hate seeing trucks in parking spots. I don't know what it is, why it gets under my skin so much, but when these trucks take up the whole parking spot, it just makes me mad. And it's not even their fault. I just don't like, it's just too big. It's just too much bigness. And with a towable, this truck is now my everyday vehicle. Like, if I need to go grocery shopping, if I need to go to the vet, this is the vehicle that I need to deal with. I didn't want to do it. Plus, I'm not the best at parking. So with my little car, it's perfect. Like, I can park crappy, but because my car's so small, it's like I'm still in the lines, everything's fine. If you have a truck, if you park crappy, everybody's affected. And I didn't want to be that person. So I just was like, let me go ahead and get my Class C. I felt safer. Things can still go wrong in this thing, I know that, but it just seemed like less thing. I was coming across less videos of Class C's flipping over and too many videos of towables flipping over. And that was my last and final straw. Once I saw those videos about weight distribution, I said, that is not for me. I'm done. We are not doing this. It's too many things right now that are building up and it's stressing me out. Plus, I felt like I was going to need to get the biggest, not the newest truck, but the biggest truck. Because everybody's like, well, if you get a big truck, like if you have like a Ford 350, I don't know if these are the right words, but if you get it, you can have a 26-foot travel trailer and get like a Ford 150. But if you go up to the 250, when you're driving it, when you're towing that vehicle, it'll feel so much more, you'll feel a lot more secure. You won't have to worry about the pulling of the tow too much, wind resistance, all that stuff. You don't feel it. So in my head, I was like, well, I'm going for safety, so I'm gonna have to go for the biggest that they have out there. And then once you start looking at those price points, you're like, oh my goodness, holy crap. And a lot of the times the truck was gonna be more expensive than the trailer. And I don't know why that didn't sit well with me, but it didn't sit well with me. And looking at the cost of a travel trailer and a truck versus just getting a motorhome, I was like, price wise, what I'm seeing so far, it's better and cheaper for me to just go for the Class C. And I just opted to go that route, and I don't regret it. I still am very happy with this decision. Another thing that I don't have to worry about, because I'm in the Class C, is like, I just park. Granted, I should be parking and leveling this thing, but I usually just park and call it a day. Lindsay, on the other hand, she has to park, she has to unhitch her truck, she has to level it, she has to do this, that, and the third. Same with my, friend here, my lot mate here. She even says, like, I think I would have preferred the Class C instead of what I have now, which is the truck and the travel trailer. Hearing her say that made me feel good. I felt good regardless, but I was like, okay, if you feel that way and you have the 2 options, I'm happy with what I went with. But that's why I went that route. Let's see what else we got. Disregard questions, you're answering them now. Okay, let's see now. Were there any other questions? I think as far as questions, that was it. Oh, no, there's more. How is driving the Class C? So Class C is, since it's I think this is considered a fairly small Class C because it's 30 feet. Actually, that's still big, but I've seen some that are bigger, However, this 30-footer, for me, the biggest thing that I'm having to deal with when it's time to drive, and I say this all the time, when I don't like driving. I am that friend who's always gonna sit in the car, like, hey guys, you want to do something, y'all? I'd rather sit in that middle seat than to drive, but I don't really like driving. So driving the Class C, that doesn't change. I still don't really like driving. So I have to suck it up. The thing that makes it a little easier for me is driving at night. I think the thing that I don't like about driving is dealing with traffic. I don't do well in traffic. It gives me anxiety. I don't have patience. And for so many years, because I work nights. So when I was working, I was either working a second shift or a third shift. So I didn't have to deal with rush hour. Anytime I'm in rush hour, I feel completely out of my element, and what I do is remove those variables. So if I'm driving the Class C, my motorhome, the RV, I like to drive later on in the evening so I'm not dealing with rush hour traffic. That makes me feel a little more comfortable. The things that I can't change regardless of when I drive is how big this thing is. So this thing is super wide to me compared to my Fiesta. So when I'm driving, I'm always kind of like freaking out and looking at the lines. And then for those of you who were with me when we went through Arkansas and then I got pulled over twice, but the first time the officer was like, it's because you touched the white line. So, you know, I'm always freaking out about how wide this vehicle is and how wide the lane is. And in my head, I'm always worried that the booty of the RV or something's going to happen where I swerve just enough to hit a car that's next to me. Or the thing that I'm always nervous about is when there's construction, they kind of bring in the lanes and then you have those barriers are like, there's the white line and then it's the barrier right there. You like have no space for any error. When that happens, I am sitting at the car. I'm sitting in the front just like this. I might even turn the radio down. Okay, I am focused. I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I'm staying in these lanes. So those are some things that I'm still uncomfortable with when it comes to driving the Class C. The noise isn't too bad. It is fairly loud when you're driving, but I'm kind of used to the noise by now. When it's windy, that's weird. And it's weird because in my head, I'm like, it's a big car. I should be able to plow through the wind and nothing will happen to me. No, I think it's actually the opposite. I think you're better off in a small car. I don't really know the specifics, but when it's windy out, the way I feel like I'm fighting the wind, I will pull over. We will sit somewhere and chill until this wind calms down because I don't like how much me and the wheel are doing this. We doing this. We fighting. I gotta stop it. We gotta pull over. So, there's variables that I have control over, and you know, and it helps me with feeling more comfortable with just driving. Period. And then on top of that, driving the Class C. And then there's other things that I don't know if I'll ever get used to, like how the width. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. How little space I have between, you know, the free space. In the lane. I don't think I'll ever get used to that, but overall I'm comfortable with it now. I am comfortable, and I think I do get a kick out of being in the RV and being so high up compared to when I'm in my car and I'm usually the smallest vehicle on the road. I like now being able to see and also being able to kind of anticipate what's in front of me. I like that. That's a plus. It is funny though when I go between the two vehicles. Both of my vehicles are Fords. Now that's not necessarily brand loyalty. It just went that way because of pricing. Okay, but when I go between driving the RV and then driving my car, I always get confused because the gear stick is in a different location. So that messes me up. I don't know how people who have multiple vehicles do it, because my brain has a glitches when it's time to go back and forth. I'm grabbing stuff that's not there, like, hold on, wait a minute, hold on, just to remember how to put the gear shift and drive. But overall, like, I'm getting used to it. Each time I get in and do a bit of driving, I feel way more comfortable than I did the step before. I would say driving around Florida versus when I drove cross country from Nevada to PA, the nerves and the anxiety that I had when I made that first cross country trip versus driving around recently when we did our trip in Florida, there's definitely a difference. So I'm getting more comfortable with it. The next thing that I'm going to have to conquer is towing my car. That's my new fear with this RV, is now driving with my car, having that towed behind the RV. I'm looking at videos right now and getting an understanding what I need. So I'll need a tow bar. I'll need a base plate that I need to actually put on the car. I need to get safety cables, and then also braking system, and also some type of wiring for lights. I'm learning that process. the what I need to purchase, what is necessary, and then of course learning what's necessary to install. I'm preparing myself for that, and then I'm also trying to take in as much as I can when I run across people giving tips when it comes to driving. I came across one tip, and it was like, remember, once you start towing your car, the biggest thing that you have to remember, and I have to remember this with or without the car, wide turns, but having the turns be even wider. And one of the tips that was given was, don't start turning the wheel until your body passes the curb. And I don't even have this thing set up, but I'm already making a mental note of that. So we're going to have this conversation again when it's time to start towing the car. Right, let's see. Rhonda, 24 is the longest I went. When I first started this search, I actually was looking at the 24-25 feeder that Cruise America offers. So they have this vehicle, and then they have one that's just a little bit smaller. I was looking at that, but the layout is way different. The layout for that particular vehicle, let me see if I can show you, because I don't know if you've seen it. Okay. Gotta go and get that Cruise America, so you can see the layout and why I opted not to go this route. And it's mainly because of the fur babies. A lot of decisions that came into play was because of the fur babies. Where's my layout? Okay. Okay, so first off, we can close you. Let's get you out of there. CapCut, quit. Alright, so now we're at the Cruise America site, right? So this is what I have here. This is the layout, okay? And then they had this 25 footer, okay? This is what I was considering. The reason that I did not go this route, I wanted to go this route because pricing, and then in my head I was like, it'll be easier to drive. However, where are my pictures? The way the bathroom, I'm not a fan of the kitchen / living room area, because I just don't trust my fur babies. I know that we would have been fighting, essentially. I want to get another angle of how the bed is set up. Okay, boom. Here we go. So this is the bed, this is the kitchen. Y'all, when Fatty was here, his old greedy butt would have been acting a fool if he would have been able to get to the kitchen that easily. If he would have been able to get to where the sink and where I prepare food. With Fatty, it was going to be a problem. And then B-Rabbit, he think he the disciplinarian. So Fatty would have been trying to lose his damn mind. He would have jumped up on my bed, lose his damn mind to get to my food. And then B-Rabbit would have jumped on the bed and been like, well, Mommy, I'm going to do my best to help you. And then Waka would have just been there in a way confused. And I just saw a problem. I just saw that being problematic. So I had to start thinking about what life in a 25-footer would have been like with the fur babies. And it just seemed like too much. Also, with the 25-footer, they just didn't have enough storage, and during the process when I was downsizing, I was having such a hard time getting myself down to where I felt like I was going to be able to fit in this 25-footer. As of now, I feel like if I didn't have the fur babies, and after several more rounds of downsizing, a 25-footer would probably be perfect, because it's easier to park, easier to drive. But as of now, I just needed the additional space, and I'm happy with having the additional space, in the sense most of the space that I need, or that the fur babies take up a lot of space. But once I finally downsize like 37 more times, I think I can consider something smaller. But I had to go bigger just because of, I had to take a few things into consideration. But this would definitely be easier to drive, easier to maneuver. With this being a 30-footer, and then I will be adding the car. Oh my god. Like, I feel like I'm not, you can't tell me I'm not gonna be essentially driving a big wheel, or what they call, what the truck's called, a semi. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be driving a semi once I add the car to the end of this. Let's see what else we got. Will you be scared if you travel I-10 through Louisiana? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna be scared now that you asked that question. The thing that I was actually scared about was driving through Colorado. Not everybody, but I've come across, you know, with me watching my little trucker videos, I came across way too many truckers who were like, the hills, driving up the hills, up and down Colorado is absolutely terrifying. Some of them also said it about some of the hills, I think maybe West Virginia or Virginia. I did travel through West Virginia, and I may not have been on the highway that was referred to in whatever video I may have come across, but it wasn't that bad. I am fearful of Colorado. Now let me see about 110. Let me see. Interstate 10. Damn. Oh, good thing I ain't have the screen on, because y'all have seen how I can't spell. Let's see. Let me look at a map of Interstate 10. Oh, heck no. So, I'm sorry. The reason I was just like, oh, heck no. So, you know, now I'm doing, since y'all mentioned Interstate 10, I'm doing my little research, right? Let me go. So, wait, go back. So, here we go. Right here. It doesn't feel right. Arizona couple killed in Interstate 10 crash, leaves behind 5 children. Deadly crash. I don't know if this is the same crash. 3 vehicles collide after swerving, avoid motorcyclists. See, already I'm like, maybe I will never go to Louisiana, y'all. I don't know. I'm not liking it so far. Let's see what else we got. Where else does the Interstate 10 go? Let me see. Come on out. I want to see like a state highway map. Maybe that'll help. State highway map. Oh, that goes to. Was I on? Did I wind up on this highway already? I'm trying to remember how I got here when I did I think I was on 40. I might just be making stuff up. Let me see. I know that I came across a few maps where they made it so easy to see the different highways, and I'm not seeing that. Oh, here we go. I like this one. Maybe I did drive through 10 a little bit. No, I think we did. No, I didn't go that far. I think we were on 40. Going through Louisiana. Trying to see how or why might I wind up on that road. I guess if I go to Louisiana. Do you ever think about taking back roads? Heck no. I think if I take a back road, it was an accident. Because I still am scared when I see those signs, the like no truck signs. And it's funny because there would be times where it is a picture that says no trucks on this road, and then I don't have a choice but to be on that road. Then I see other trucks on that road, so I need to know who are they referring to when they have those signs. But back roads in the RV, I don't know how comfortable I feel, just simply because I'm always scared I'm gonna wind up somewhere where the clearance is low, or I get to a point where I really can't go forward and my only option is to go backwards. So I really don't want to be in that position. If all possible, I'm going to try to avoid that. And back roads also just sound like racism. So depending on what state I'm in, I may never go down a back road, because I have this big fear that I'm going to drive on private property, not realizing it's private property, and they immediately are just going to defend their land, and I'll never be able to tell my story to be like, damn, I was lost. I literally just was trying to turn around to get help. So if possible, I like to stay on roads that make me, that where I feel like I can get help. So we'll see about these back roads. Van Miles, I drive 3 times back and forth. It's fine. It's just the bridges. And I think we're referring to Interstate 10. Okay. But are you driving? No, you have an RV too, right? You have the 24-footer, I think. What size is your RV? Are you taking, or when you do these drives, Van Miles, is it by car, or are you referring to when you're actually out and about in the camper? I'll wait until we find out about that. Let's see if there's anything else as far as questions that I may have missed. Think that. But who was in here the other day who was like, I got a movie, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all. Since, you know, this will be a little secret. You know, we got evicted. I gotta move. Whoever was in the chat earlier a few days ago was like, I'm terrible with conversion man. Okay, so you're in a conversion man. Thank you, Van Miles. So when I was telling y'all, like, I love private land, but sometimes most of the private land that you stay on is illegal. Well, that's the case here. Somebody reported us to code enforcement, and that was like on the 27th or 28th of February. Code enforcement told my landlord they had 2 weeks in order to start the process of getting this permit, like get the permits or something legal. And then they went on to say, if you don't start the process, then we start fining you $1,000. This, that, the third. Landlord also tried to see what they could do so they could keep us here and also keep, their additional supplemental income coming in. But everything is not working out, so your girl got evicted, y'all. That's gonna be our secret. That'll be one of the cool things about coming to the live. You'll get a little secret. I'm obviously gonna do a video about it, but I have to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I already have a real good idea what I'm gonna do next, but I wanted my next trip, my next travel day to be sometime in May. But my next travel day will be this month. I am still looking to stay in Florida. The opportunity that's available to me is going to put me closer to Tallahassee. However, there's some kinks that need to be worked out, since I don't really feel comfortable enough to get my car, to do all the conversions, or to get my car ready for a tow. So like the base plate, I wanted to install that. Tow bar, I wanted to purchase and have that put onto the RV. But then once I was like, oh, there's these brake systems, you gotta worry about the lighting, you gotta worry about the cables. Okay, that's way too much. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get my car to me once it's time to move. Now I will have to leave this spot, the private property that I'm parked on, next week. And what also complicates it is I have a friend who's flying in from Vegas, and she was like, well, I can cancel the trip and you can just go ahead and focus on your move. And I was like, no, you are coming, because I'm gonna need to be social. I'm gonna need to release all, I need to have fun, right? So we're still going on with the trip. When I have to leave this spot, I'm going to get a hip camp reservation. So I'm staying at like a hip camp reservation that's kind of nearby. It's about like an hour from where I am now. And you would think like it being an hour from where I am now, that put me closer to Tampa, and somehow I'm still gonna be like an hour from Tampa. So it's like, it's not straight down, it's like to the side. And then I'll be staying there for a week. So when my friend comes, we'll be parked on the hip camp reservation. The property is essentially a guy who has like an acre of land. He does have free range chicken, so I'm pretty excited about that. But I'll be staying there for a week, and then it's time to relocate to my next destination, which, as I mentioned, will be in Florida, but I will have to drive, I think, maybe 4 hours, and that is what I got on my plate that I have to figure out. I think this time around, since I'm not prepped and ready for installing, like, you know, the faceplate and a tow bar on the RV in the car, I'm looking at U-Haul. I don't know. Actually, I do know. The first time when I did the cross country trip, I didn't want to tow anything. When I left PA, I think I was probably maybe a little ready to start towing something, but I hadn't even looked at U-Haul where you just rent a dolly. I didn't realize, like, it's not that bad, the pricing. You know, you rent a dolly, then you have it for 3 days. It's not, the pricing isn't terrible. I probably really should have considered that when I drove down here. No, never mind. As I was saying that, I was changing my mind, because when I was driving down to Florida, that's what, excuse me, I was dealing with the hurricanes. Fatty was in bad shape. Actually, am happy that I did not do the U-Haul. But for this relocation, I am looking at U-Haul, getting a dolly, and then doing my first trip towing the car. I'm a little nervous, but watching YouTube, of course, makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, because there's a lot of people like, I've never done this before, and I'm doing it. So we go. That's gonna be another video for y'all. And then as far as this all going to work out, yes, I am very confident that it's going to work out. I allowed myself a moment to panic when I first found out that we were getting evicted. But then I also took into consideration that I was getting to the point where I was wanting to change. I was wanting to change the scenery. I had originally came down with a 3-month plan, and then I think I extended. I extended to like March. Then I reached out to my landlady and extended to the end of April, and then recently I extended to the end of May. But I started to regret that extension. The main reason I extended to the end of May is because I wanted to spend more time in Florida to hang out with Lindsay. And then I also wanted to be able to take advantage of some beach days when it was actually hot. But then I was like, I don't know, man. I'm ready. I was like, I need something else. Like I need to change the scenery. Just I think there's a, you know, after the dog attack, and then you know, a few other things that kind of happened afterwards. I like being here, but I was like, I also wanted to experience something different. So now the universe was like, yeah, it's time to experience something different. Boom, you're evicted. And I was like, well, okay, all right, well, you know, I was stalling. I see you felt like I was stalling, and now you just threw something, a wrench in the mix to make me move a little bit faster. Totally fine. So I didn't panic, because all that was kind of happening before the eviction notice came, that I was getting to the point where I was like, I want to switch it up. I want to do something else. So many of you have asked, like, when it comes to finding a place, what do you do? Well, now I have a new thing that I can add to my mix, and I'm all for sharing. So let me tell you about this program. Now, this is something that had come across my feed before when I was looking at trying to get connected with somebody who lived on a ranch or a farm. And you know how your phone be listening to your conversations. So I was thinking about it. I was talking to people about it. And then, boom, I came across this company, Wolf. They also have, like, this is just for the United States. But then they also have one, like, change country. There we go. Where Canada, Spain, Chile, Denmark, places all over, right? And what they do is just one of many of websites that get you linked to an organic farm, a ranch. So my next place that I will find, I'm not going to go the route that I've gone before, where I use Facebook to find private property. I'm actually going to go through this. I've already paid for my little membership, which is like $40 for a year, And what it is like, without the membership, you can go through their website and look at what's available. So boom, we'll just click this one for Colorado, right? So you can look at them. I guess I gotta accept purposes. Just essential. Yes, I accept. I'm good with that. We can go. Now move that. Accept my purposes. Okay. So what they do is you can get all the information and find out a little bit about the farm, what the housing or the lodging is gonna look like, what the what your typical day might look like. You can get all that information, but you can't message the host. So by paying for a membership, you can now message the host. So for the longest, I was just looking at all of these farms and saving my little $40. But then once I got the notice for eviction, I said, well, it's time to go ahead and commit. So I committed. I have my year-long membership. I can now message people. I've messaged a few hosts, and I'm 100% ready to go this route for my next spot. Instead of having to pay for rent, instead I will be working, doing whatever is necessary for this particular host. And I would say on average, I think people are probably doing like 25 hours a week. And in exchange, I'll be able to park. I'll have a place for the RV. Don't have to worry about rent. And then they do provide some meals, probably like one. You probably should expect maybe like one meal dinner being provided, and then maybe snacks and stuff or food. I don't really know the specifics because I know that I'll probably just hop in my car and purchase food, go grocery shopping. But this is the route that I'm going next time. So I'm excited. The thing is now that's 25 hours. Okay, well, it varies, but like this one right here, like 7 days of work, 12 hours a day. That's what you're expected to contribute. Whereas others maybe like 20 hours a day. Some of them are like you need to work 40 hours a day. This is one of those situations where people are like they take advantage of the free labor and they overwork you. I don't want to be in that type of situation. The good thing is, if you find yourself in a situation where you're uncomfortable or you feel overworked, you can always just find another host and relocate. But this is a great way to travel for those who, it really just depends on your situation. So if you have any youngsters, I feel like people who are, just coming out of high school, going into college, like, your 20s, your 20-year-old, your 20-somethings, a lot of them probably would really pair well with this because you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid, but you are getting experience. Oh, wait, was it 12? Oh, snap. You're right. 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Oh, no. So this is one of those programs I would not be doing. Like, I wouldn't pick them. I'm glad you picked that up because I thought that was 12 hours a week. That was my brain saying like, oh, okay, that's not a problem. But then there's others, like that would be a position I would skip, because if you went 12 hours a day for me and think just providing me with dinner and a place to stay is enough, that's not how that works. I can do math. Now I know some of them are definitely getting you a little bit, but I'll take it because guess who's going to be using this for content? Yes, exactly. So hopefully it'll balance this out. But I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say, but this is. Oh, okay. I was going to say I just want people to know that this is available. They do have some other websites that I wound up coming across while I was looking at this. It's just like, what are some alternatives to Whoop? And then Candace she stumbled across another site that she was looking at where she would work, get a place to stay, and then that would allow her to travel. So for people who don't have too many bills, this is where I'm like, being debt free opens up doors, because if I was living check to check, this would be really hard. Now there are some situations where people will do this, where they work on the farm part-time, essentially. Their room and board is taken care of, and then if they have a vehicle or a way to get around, they'll also pick up a part-time job or maybe another job where they're working for income. At this point in time, I don't have to worry about the income part just yet. We're getting there though. We're getting there, but I still can kind of lounge around for a little bit longer. But to not have to worry about rent for the next couple, maybe months, depending on how long I do this, will be fantastic. Will be fantastic. And plus, I'm just excited, you know, get with the babies, you know, the big fur babies. Working on a farm. I've seen farms, I've seen ranches, I've seen homesteads on here, off-grid setups. I've seen, you know, you got your fruits and your vegetables. Some people do like, let's see, let me look at the filters so we can get out of it. Okay, so like vegetable farming, fruit, nut farming, grain farming, poultry, pigs. So some of them, you know, they talk about how you're going to be responsible for actually butchering, or you may be part of the process of actually butchering the animals. Now, I feel bad, but at the same time, I want to learn that process. You know, cheese making, meat. You can work some of these, you know, like work on a winery to be able to, you know, learn the process of creating wine. I think that would be exciting. You got some people who make like soaps and crafts. Like, it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything where you, if you want to, you can. This happened yesterday. Why you shut off on me? Let me see what's okay. Cool. What's going on? What's going on? So, oh, it's still working for y'all though. Okay, that's weird. I can't see it, but you can still see it on my monitor. That's so weird. Anywho, so let me see if it'll let me scroll. Okay, so yeah. This is just, y'all may want to tell your friends, some of your friends that are your youngsters. This is this is a way to travel, experience new things. For me, I want to learn. At some point, I do want to get land. I don't know what to do with it at this point if I did get land. So this is my way of getting mentorship and having somebody who actually lives that life to show me the ropes before I'm at a point where I can actually commit. And I'm looking forward to bringing some new experiences to you all. If you want to actually, you know, as you can see, you can also filter the farm. So you are working under a particular, you know, if you want to only work under a farm that's woman operated, boom, you can do that. So let's see how many. So, okay, it was a big number. So, you know, so let's say we got 500 farms or hosts that fall under that. So that's an option. Okay, I understand. Y'all been on here for a little bit. I just got excited about telling people about this site. I just want to make sure people know that they have ways to travel. But do know that that'll be coming up soon. That'll be coming up soon. We'll be talking about this, and a change of scenery is definitely coming up. What exactly? Well, we gotta wait a little bit to figure that out. But no, it's coming. No, it's coming. Now, I actually am going to go ahead. I'm going to take my cue from you, Van Miles. This is actually a good idea that you mentioned charging your phone. I need to, of course, get to the fur babies, and I also need to start working on that video, actually editing it today. Bull crap, but gotta get some work done. But as usual, I appreciate everyone for stopping in. Tomorrow when I'm live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it will be week 2, day 1. So I will be going back to working out. Next 5 days we'll be actually doing our exercises again. And then as far as today is our Thursday, Friday activity, which will be our off day for exercising. Well, you know, I'm open to suggestions, but it'll probably be something similar to this where we're chatting, or maybe I'll show you some behind the scenes, okay? So thanks for stopping in. Appreciate everyone. I really do appreciate you stopping in. And with these lives, if you have anything that you'd like for me to actually explore, let me know. I'm new to this, so I'm just kind of messing around with stuff. I'm really just experimenting, but if you watch lives all the time, you're like, oh, my favorite live streamer does this. I'd like to see your version of it. Let me know. Okay, let me know, because I'm open to all of it. And I hope everybody has a good night. I hope to see you all tomorrow for the workout. Make sure you hydrate, stretch, get yourself and your body prepared. And we're going to keep on with this, working on being consistent with our workouts. Okay? So thank you, and I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Okay?